going on, Herd? Welcome to another episode of Cover Lovers, where we get to talk about this week's incentives, as well as store exclusives that were just announced. And we have a special guest, or guest, should I say, appearing on today's show. Tony, how are you doing?
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm doing great. I'm fresh off of vacation. I'm refreshed. I'm excited to be here, hanging out with you guys and gals.
Nice.
Hear that explosion? I don't know what's going on in my neighborhood. It's either fireworks or it's like some sort of shotgun fight.
People watching The Last of Us way too much, apparently.
People going too far.
He's got the fungus.
Sure, it's just mushroom pizza, okay?
That's right.
The security forces out there.
That means you're protected, sir. You're protected.
Yeah.
And Trish, thank you for also joining us tonight. How have you been?
Wonderful. Been busy working. Last weekend was pretty busy. I did the polar bear plunge. It's cold. Just liked it, but charity.
You were on 2 weeks ago, or just last week?
I was on.
A couple days ago, right?
Yeah. I was on here. I was on here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the polar bear plunge was Friday. Saturday, I had a signing at Third Eye Comics. It went really well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw Tom King came down there. Did he stand in front of your table and give away free comics? Because that seems like in poor taste. That
would literally be the only reason I got that kind of draw.
I heard he just popped in there. I was like, that seems what a crazy move. Was it okay? Was there?
Oh, he wasn't there when I was there. Or he was there. If he was there when I was there, it was either right after or right before.
Okay, good.
I didn't even see him really.
You're forgiven, Tom King.
For that.
Don't mess with my friend.
Not for Heroes in Crisis, but for that.
That's right.
He showed up. He was giving away free books, but there wasn't like a stampede or a riot or anything. It was great.
All right, good.
All right. And as part of the panel, as always, Mike, thank you for hanging out with us. How have you been? How was your weekend?
Fantastically great. And I just made the dumb move of running 4 miles right before the show. So that's why I have the hat on, because I can't stop sweating. So maybe it'll stop. Or you won't notice.
You don't want us to see the steam coming off your head?
Yeah, it's bad. It's just a really dumb move. And I'm drinking hot coffee to really, round it out, because I'm the brightest guy on the block.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a trying Monday, but I'm happy to be chilling and here and talking covers with these fine folks. Tony, Trish, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks for joining us. Really, it's a great pleasure to have you here.
I freaking messaged you guys as soon as I found out he was going to be on. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? I would totally be in the chat, talking shit.
Well, now you're live talking shit, so this is even better.
It's way better.
Way better.
I missed you, Tony.
It has been at least days since we spoke.
Days.
Oh, all right, Big Rob. How was your weekend? And happy belated birthday, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, and wrapping up my birthday weekend. I had to take a 4-day weekend. I was off today, so that was always nice. So yeah, happy to be here Monday Cover Lovers, and we could check out some beautiful covers this week, hopefully. And
which day was your birthday?
That was actually Friday, February 3rd. I went to the happiest place on earth on Friday. So that was my weekend. So I'm a little tired still. So.
Oh, you got that birthday hangover, right?
Yeah, he was only 10 minutes away from me, and I didn't see him all weekend. I see what your birthday wish was.
Not to see Jeff.
Lots and lots of sake. That was my weekend too.
Nice.
And what about you, Jeff? Love the review. You just got done with The Last of Us episode 4, and you did some singing.
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about.
You sung?
I
don't know what he's talking about.
And it was beautiful. It was
I gotta
beautiful.
hear that.
It brought a tear to my eye.
He has a bad memory. He's getting old. Anyways, this is Jeff at Geek Driven. Thank you guys for tuning into the review show and tuning into Cover Lovers. I'm super honored to be here on the panel with Tony and Trish. I've been waiting for this day for like a year. I swear, ever since you guys started Stray Dogs, I was like, I just want to be on a panel with them. They're awesome. So my dream's coming true. I'm so glad I stuck with Team Nerdherd long enough to do this. Tomorrow I quit. No, I'm just kidding.
You're retired now.
No, I love this show, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say about these covers. I always love to hear an artist and a writer's opinion on comic book covers, because that's always part of what they deal with as well. And even if they don't draw it, that's just that's in their industry, and it's only natural for them to have hopefully an opinion. So I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to see the new incentives and store exclusives. So
all right, thank you. Before we get started, just have to do a quick shout outs to our DJ. Thank you, DJ Beats by Monster Eddie. Thank you so much. And also a quick shout out to our team Nerdherd Horseman, Uncle Rudy, Something Wong, Deanna Man, Glenn 2K12. Thank you so much for making the community what it is and the chat. We really appreciate you guys. And a quick shout out also to our sponsors, Cover Price. Make sure to use code Nerdvana14 for 30 days of unlimited cover price for only 99 cents. And Bird City Comics. Make sure to use code word TNH10 to save yourself 10% off your entire purchase. All right, so let's get her started. And Tony, you're in the hot seat, sir. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you some rapid fire questions. So I hope you're ready. Mike, I hope you're ready, because you get to ask the first question.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So were you expecting the enormous success of Stray Dogs?
Yes.
Yes, you were. I mean, you were that confident about, seriously. I mean, were you that confident about the concept? And
no, we were confident about the concept, because when the book started coming out, we were mostly done with it. Trish, I think we were starting issue 4 maybe, or in the middle of issue 4 when the book started coming out. And so we had seen what it looked like, and sort of like the idea that we had was sort of like being executed like exactly the way we wanted it to be. And so like we knew it was good. Like we knew there was a good idea. We weren't expecting people to come and find it like they did, which was the part that was surprising. That was nice. But I never think anything's any good. I'm always just like, I hope people like this. And with Stray Dogs, both of us, I think we're just like, oh, people are going to dig this if they see it. It was just a matter of getting them to see it.
Okay.
Well, they saw it. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they saw that in a lot of reprints.
Yes.
So I love the fact that it had this natural, blast into the community, right? Like it just had its own word of mouth. And but I'm gonna have to ask you this question: dogs or cats?
Well, right now dogs, but in like a year, probably cats for sure. But
Wait, I want to know why though.
I mean, you're gonna have to put that together yourself. But no, we're both for real dog people. If we were to ever do something about cats, it would be a more of a learning curve, because so much of in Stray Dogs was just intuitive, like writing or drawing stuff, because we knew exactly how dogs behaved, or how I have a dog. He's over here in his crate right now, taking a little nap. Trish has a dog who's hopefully not in too much pain right now. She's going through it.
Yeah, she's going through her getting old.
Yeah,
Poor baby.
Poor puppy.
but yeah, we're dog people.
Did she get her shot, Trish?
We were hoping they were going to do an MRI, but they said if you're going down that road, then you might as well go through the surgery, which was this whole other discussion that I didn't want to have. So, after like 2 hours, we're going to try acupuncture and hydrotherapy and see if that helps.
All right.
Cross your fingers.
Well, my love to the sweet little thing.
Yeah.
We love
She's
you.
a big baby.
Yeah.
Very big.
All right, Big Rob, hit him up.
All right, mine's simple. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Rob.
Got the little holes to put the butter in.
True.
My mom is a A+ Belgian waffler.
I like Belgian waffles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she makes up the Belgian waffles, and then she'll put like butter in a measuring cup and just melt it. So you just pour it in there, and then she'll have like peanut butter and whipped cream and strawberries all on the table ready to go. Little smokies. So yeah, waffles for sure. Pancakes are fine, but They're a little too mushy. If I want cake, I'll have cake. It's got frosting.
Nice.
There you go. All right. My question is to you, Tony. If you had one superpower, what would it be and why?
Immortality.
Immortality.
See? I
And now,
told
why do
you.
you want to be immortal?
Well, I'm terrified to die, and I feel like a lot of what my life is about is just either trying to get things done before I die, or not doing things because I'm afraid I would die doing it. So I feel like immortality would take that then everything else is fine, unless it's one of those like monkey's paw thing where you live forever, but like you keep getting older and older, and I'm just like a skeleton that's still alive.
Twilight Zone episode. Yeah.
I get
Like the guy in
injured,
Indiana Jones.
yeah, I'll just have like missing arms and fingers and stuff. I'm just like a head that's on a shelf. I don't want
Just a
that.
head in a jar, like Nixon on Futurama.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'd like to be immortal, just in my in a similar body to this, but thinner.
All right, Trish, are you ready for your question?
Do I get a question, or do I have to ask a question?
No, you ask a question to Tony.
Oh, I've asked him all the questions that I needed. How was your vacation?
Oh, it was great. Thank you. I went on a cruise. It was a buddy's 50th birthday. I had never been on a cruise before. And we just went to one real close to here. Went from Long Beach to Catalina, and then down to Ensenada in Mexico, and back.
Nice.
And it was super relaxed. I should have been hungover, but I feel like I really perfected my game. Like I feel like at this, I'm 43 now. I really figured out how to just drink a little bit all day long, just have a vibe going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't do it for like my whole life. But I thought on the last day, I was like, this is it. I'm going to be ruined. And I woke up and I was a little bit, messed up. But
Yeah.
I had a bottle of water and I was fine. I felt great. So
margaritas, said?
I was doing a lot of tiki drinks. I got the drink package on the
Nice.
On the cruise.
On the cruise.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So I would just go in. You could walk in any bar. I was, have a couple of Bloody Marys in the morning, and then it would be like pina coladas or like banana pina. I was real sugary shit. So it should have really messed me up, but somehow,
yeah,
I was just fine. What I stayed away from is what I normally drink, which is like just whiskey or just beer or stuff like that. Stuff that generally will have me hungover. But I think all the sugary stuff I had should have really ruined me. But the Lord of Booze was smiling on me this weekend.
Looking out for you this weekend.
Yeah.
No praying to the porcelain gods.
That's right. And Tony, we have a couple questions from the chat. So one of them comes from Styx. He's asking, what collaboration do you want to do that includes both you on a new title, present or future title?
What collaboration do you want to do that includes both of you? Oh, both of us. Well, we talked about wanting to do something like Pet Avengers or like a crypto and ace type situation, like something where we could take take what we did on Stray Dogs and sort of do a version of that in superheroes. But also me and Trish have this we're in this really unique position where we just made our first image book and it was wildly popular. So I think if we collaborated on something again, the smart thing would be to just do another image book, because we sort of skipped the step where you had to make your bones doing Marvel and DC stuff and went right to the part where, if you're following your Kirkman manifesto, we went right to the part where we're on the comic book creator cruise and just have an audience with us. So Trish and I, if we were to collaborate on a future title, would probably do an image comic. That would be probably the smartest.
Nice.
But if you're out there, Marvel and DC, and you want us to do a little something with the Pet Avengers, that would be fun. Trish would draw an adorable Lockjaw.
It would be cute.
And also Jeff the land shark. I mean, we've seen it. It's amazing. I love it.
Cute shark, yeah.
How about Super Pets the comic book?
Ooh, yeah, I'd be into that.
Mm.
I love those Art and Franco ones that they did too.
Okay. And then we have another one for you, Tony. This one comes from James Kreider. Tony, will you ever see the continuing adventures of Carl from Time Shopper?
We would love to do more Time Shopper. The Time Shopper, I just actually sent out the very last Kickstarters for Time Shopper today. Because long story, but they were like the last books that I needed to send out were buried in my backyard, not underground, but just like under a tarp and under a bunch of other boxes. And so I just finally got them all dug out and sent out today. Me and Christian Misi, who made that book, we really loved making it, and Tone Rodriguez, who also works on Stray Dogs, and Brad Simpson, who also works on Stray Dogs. But we also had to like fund it and distribute it and do all that, like all the stuff that I generally don't do or I'm not super good at. So we would love to do more, but it would be like finding a venue for it, whether it's like, you know, maybe for a little bit we just figure out a way to do short stories here and there. Christian's always doing short stories in like anthologies and stuff. But we do have 2 more like volumes mapped out where it would sort of be like a trilogy, like you know, it's a time travel book, so if we're following along with Back to the Future, you got to do the whole trilogy. You know, he's got to fall in love in part 3.
Okay, very cool. Thank you, sir. And then quick shout outs to the chat before we jump in. Sam I Am, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Same thing goes to Mama Comics Lucy. Lucy, thank you for doing double duty today with both Last of Us review as well as this show. Thank you so much. Tiger Fett, what is going on? Aloha to you too, sir. There we go, Sticks. Yes, right. That's right. Some cover lovers tonight. And then big shout out to Mr. Big Rob. Happy birthday, sir. 21 again. Look at that. 21 again for the what, like 16th time, something like that?
Yeah, 20 or something like that.
All right. And then also quick shout out to Lord of Brooklyn, BK for life. Hey, what is going on? And then same thing to you, James. Also still chilling. Thank you for stopping by. Ghetto Production. Love it. Love it. GTK Comics. And also, I believe, also, there we go. Hyper Combo Comics. There you are. And yes, Bottomless Stomach. That's right. All you can eat establishments. Damn right. Damn right. And
that is a good
Steve,
superpower.
what is going on? There we go.
Yo, if that was a superpower, just like eat whatever and stay thin and in good shape, that I changed my answer to that. I would live a regular length life or shorter just to not have to worry about what I ate. That would be great.
Did you hear that, Hyper?
Yeah.
Oh,
you and me are on the same
House
page.
of Nerd Show. Thank you for stopping by. Here we go. Here we go. All right, guys. Tony, looks like you passed. Everything is all good with the rapid fire questions. You came out unscathed. So let us get started with the show. And here we go. So this week's incentives. Here we are. And our first one is Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. So we have a 1 in 25 by Liam Sharp, a 1 in 50 by Mark Silvestri, and a 1 in 100 by Sanford Green. All right. So Tony, we're going to start off with Mike and then immediately jump into you so you kind of get a feel for this. So Mike, of the 3, which one would you choose and why?
I mean, you guys know me by now. I'm a Sienkiewicz guy, so that Liam Sharp looks an awful lot like a Sienkiewicz kind of piece. Very impressionistic and cool and different. It's a great mashup of the 2 characters. Pretty creative looking thing. I feel like maybe it's been done before, which is my one sort of caveat to that. But the other 2, I'm not a big sketch cover guy. And while it seems almost criminal not to choose a Mark Silvestri cover, I don't love it. The 1 in 100, I like Sanford Green's work, but I don't feel like that's a 1 in 100 level kind of incentive cover. It just sort of looks like a B cover to me. Whereas the 1 in 25 actually feels like an incentive to me. And I also happen to like it. So that's definitely my choice.
All right. Tony, which one would you choose of the 3 and why?
Man, this is more difficult than I thought. I guess the Mark Silvestri one. But in actuality, I would choose just the A cover on the, like, if these are the options, I would be like, give me that A cover. I'm good here. None of them are really making me go wild with anticipation. The cat drawing in the Silvestri one is very good. The Sanford Green one, I'm okay with, but let's do a quick talk about tangents. Her boobs look like his knees.
True.
Oh my god,
Facts.
that is
when I saw it, I
absolutely
was like,
true.
Can't
I was
unsee
like,
that
he's
shit.
riding on her shoulders. But like Sanford is a good artist. He's a better artist than I am. Every once in a while, something will get away from somebody, and I think in this case it does look like he's riding on her shoulders. So I would pick A cover. Final answer.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's
Oh.
exactly
See,
what it
that's
looks like.
exactly the kind of stuff they point out on this show, which I find great.
You just nailed your first shot at this, Tony. You're on every week. I
Okay, good.
quit. You're the regular guy now.
I don't think I could do this on a regular basis. I just think about, you guys ever see that Dave Johnson blog he did where he would just roast covers?
No.
It was amazing, but eventually he was like, somebody pointed out, like, you're just being cruel to people who work in the same job as you. And he's like, all right, fair enough. But I assume, like, amongst his friends, like in his DM or his private chats, I'm sure he would mention this tangent.
Sir, I'm gonna chalk that up to roasting your peers. That's all.
That's right.
I think all three of these guys are very talented and better at drawing than me. But A cover is my answer. Mark Silvestri, one of my all-time favorite artists. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm very excited that
Trish?
this book is coming out.
Well, I was gonna say the Mark Silvestri. I mean, I'm a fan of sketch covers. Where Mike is not, I am, and
It's because you're terrified to do color, Trish.
I don't like color.
Trisha's coloring our Gargoyles covers.
Well,
now.
yeah, I've taken over some duties. Okay, I'm getting better with my fears, but I actually do like sketch work better. I mean, I think you can see the artist process more in sketch covers than
Okay.
And I'm just into it.
All right. And Jeff, of the three, which one would you choose?
I would actually go with the Silvestri as well. I do like the Sharp. It's very out there, very Joker-esque. I would have preferred the Sanford Green without the Batman and the Catwoman on the cover, but I do dig that Catwoman sketch. I like the face. I like the lines, the shadowing. The cat looks awesome. So yeah, I'm a fan of sketch covers as well if they're done right. So yeah, I picked the Silvestri for me.
Okay. And Trish, just so you know, Sergio really wants that Turning Red mug.
I got this on sale at Disney World. It was $12. It's huge. It's like 30 ounces.
Do you remember Mark Silvestri used to always draw that orange cat in Cyberforce? Am I the only one that remembers that cat? Like, it was like a cartoon cat.
That little tabby cat, right?
Yeah, it had like a big giant. Yeah, there was that little boy that was always in Cyberforce, and then there was like a little cat with a big cartoon cat head. Also, I like to think this cat in this cover is like that cat grown up. That's my headcanon.
It's the multiverse version.
That's right.
Silvestri cat. Sylvester.
All right. And the next one here, we have Poison Ivy number 9. We have a 1 in 25 by Rianne Gonzalez and a 1 in 50 by Mindy Lee. All right, we already know what Jeff's gonna pick because Jeff's a big Rianne Gonzalez homer. Big Rob, which one would you choose?
I think both pieces of art are actually pretty good. I'm going to go with the Rianne Gonzalez. It's number one's a lot cheaper. One's only $125. I don't want to pay $50, but it's, I guess, a little more clean, a little more detailed. It looks like she took a little more time on this one compared to her last few covers, where I feel like she was doing a lot of rush jobs and it seemed a little sloppy. This one's pretty good in my opinion for her, and it's pretty typical of her art, but the line work, the coloring, everything looks perfect. The blank background doesn't really bother me too much. It kind of blends in well. It's kind of a very peachy color overall, the whole cover. So I dig it. Down Rianne Gonzalez, 125.
Okay. All right. Trish, of the two, which one would be your favorite?
I like the colors on the Rianne, but the conceptual kind of feeling of Poison Ivy on the Mindy Lee is kind of cool and kind of creepy. And I'm kind of digging that too.
Yeah.
Picking one, I guess the Rian, because it's more my style, like colorful and bright.
Okay.
Fun.
Mike. Come on. Come on.
He's muted. He's muted. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Oh, you just don't want to talk about it, huh, Mike? You muted yourself.
Yeah, I almost said skip, but I
No.
So
Go on. Yeah, that's good.
I actually like the Rian Gonzalez. But
What?
Whoa.
But wait, hang
Fire.
tight. Hang tight. But without
Caveat.
stupid chibi freaking Harleys. Just have it be her, those nice bright colors, and I actually would have really dug this cover. I'm with Trish, though. I like the very Vertigo-esque kind of dark feel of Ivy on the Mindy Lee. It's a really cool concept. I haven't seen her drawn that way before. I'm not a huge fan of the Harley on that cover, but I do love the Ivy on that cover. So I think if I had to choose between the two, if they were both handed to me for free and I had to hand one back, I'd hand the Gonzalez back and keep the Lee just because I really like the but I would have liked the Gonzalez without those little Harley,
The little chibi characters,
the little chibi things. That just, I know it's her thing. I get it. Doesn't make it good.
Is the worst $50 there, Mike?
No, I wouldn't spend. No way. I wouldn't spend 25 on the Gonzalez or 50 on the Lee. To be honest,
Yeah,
matter of fact, I'd buy the Dodson, which is the B cover this week, which blows both of these away. $6, baby.
Yeah, I want to see that. I don't want to tell you guys how to run your show, but I want to see the regular covers that we're choosing something other than.
Well, in that case, you should tune into Cover Fire tomorrow on CBSI.
Oh, all right. Is that this same show, but where you do that one different?
It's an article that I write, which is all the A and B.
Oh, nice.
It's all the regular cover price covers and my favorites for the week.
Love it.
So Tony, of the two incentive covers, which would it be?
I like both these artists, but I think the Mindy Lee is the stronger composition here. I think it's just a nicer piece. Profiles are hard to like. Sometimes it's hard to make a striking image with profiles, and this one, she really nailed it. And like a trick that I love is shock white background with pale figures in the foreground with like a multiply layer that's like a blue or a red or something, you know, that's where it's just a little bit off white, because both these characters are pretty pale skinned. But having them be just a little bit blue is very striking, I think. So I choose the Mindy Lee.
Okay.
And I'll pay $50 for it. No price too high.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. What about this one here? We have for Batman 132, we have a 1 in 25 by Derek Chu and a 1 in 50 foil by Art Germ. So Trish, you're up. Which one would you choose?
That foil is going to eat that artwork up. It's just going to disappear. I mean, I freaking love Art Germ. What the heck? Why do they got to do this to him every time? Why got to do him dirty like that? They could do the background as foil and have her as like a spot hit, and it would just be great. Why?
How do we know they're not doing that?
I don't know. I just know that they're probably not, because it's usually just like the one Stray Dogs cover where all the art disappeared in the center because it went foil.
And
there is a regular colored B cover that's that same art.
I mean, it's nice. That same art? I mean, it's nice. Of course, Art Germ's great. I like both of these covers, honestly. The Chu's very I mean, it's very much his style, very dynamic, and the, you know, I mean, it's Batman on a gargoyle. Who doesn't love that? You know, you don't love that?
I've seen it already. I mean,
yeah.
Lee drew Batman standing on a gargoyle. Everybody else has got to stop. Like, I've seen that for the last 20 years. Anybody that's doing a Batman on a gargoyle is like, you're not going to do as good as that Hush cover. So, you know, knock it off.
No, yeah.
This is it's a great drawing, but it doesn't excite me. I wouldn't be like, remember that time that Derek Chu drew Batman standing on that gargoyle? Like, I wouldn't remember it at the end of this show.
I think these two artists are like, they each have like their own specific following of folks too. Like, you know, if you get an Art Germ, like you almost have to get every Art Germ. And then like Derek Chu, he did that whole line of Harley covers, and I almost had to have every single one because they were kind of cool. Yeah, so I think that there's a specific following for his covers, and
I'm,
I mean, I
I'm a-
like it, but
I mean, I think his artwork is great. Great artist. I'm a Sticks boy though. I think I would do neither of those. I would get the B cover with the art germ.
yeah,
And I would
Art germ,
congratulate
not
Derek
foiled.
Chu. If I saw Derek Chu in person, I'd say, "Great drawing, way to go."
Wonderful.
Way to go.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
You did it, sir.
You did it.
it's a perfectly great drawing.
All right, Jeff, you're up. Which one?
Like Trish, I like both covers. I do get what Tony is saying, just because, like, I always say the same thing, right? Like, I'm tired of David Nakayama doing the same type of cover. You know, I'm tired of JTC doing the same type of cover. It gets old after a while, and it's nice that you get different artists to do a different version or their take on it. But he's right. So many covers over the last 20 years. And I don't necessarily like his facial expression. It's kind of looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a little shocked, maybe. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. And that stance, he looks so stoic, but then the face just kind of throws me off. So I'm picking the art germ, but not the 1 in 50. Just like you said, I'm not paying for the foil. The foils never look great on these covers, or usually don't. And shoot, I'm going to save a lot of more money if I get the B cover. So,
Right on. All right, Big Rob, what do you got?
The name of the game is to pick between this one and the other games are all cheating. So
I picked neither, sir. I'm not paying money for these.
No, the guns to your head, you got to pick one, bro. The foil, obviously, it'll disappear. Like, everybody's right. That you're not going to even see the damn art. So you got to pick the shoe. At least you can see the damn art. And yeah, it's a gargle, and it's been done to a million times. But it's good. It's decent. It's dramatic. So it kind of looks like an incentive, at least. So I'll go with that one. He executed what he was intending to, right?
I was waiting for you to do that. Everybody drink.
It's all that freaking coming, dude.
Yeah, everybody drink. There you go. When Trish says render, when Jeff's not mad at it, and when Rob says that line.
What he intended to do here.
Sam I Am does agree with you, Jeff, regarding the composition or the visual look of it. I mean, the head may be a little bit too small. It looks
I'm with Wookie on that. I was going to say that. It doesn't look right.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. We have a 1 in 25 by Hernanda Souza and a 1 in 50 by Arthur Adams. All right, Tony, if you had to pick one or the other, which one's going to be?
Arthur Adams, easy. I like the colors on the Souza one a lot. I wish they had colored the Arthur Adams one. Like that's what I would like to see. Let's put these two together. Give me those same colors on that Arthur Adams, because I do feel like Arthur Adams, he's done so many of these, and it always is on point. So sometimes it can get a little samey. It would be cool to see some interesting colors get in there and try some weird shit. But yeah, that's a great looking Storm. I am a big fan of it. And he just drew a jet in there for no good reason. Who cares? He was like, I'll just draw a jet too. He could just put some clouds. He gave himself another couple hours work.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Trish, which one would it be?
Arthur Adams. I like all that. I like all the shading on the clouds, and I mean that's not specifically why, but I just like all of that space being filled. I feel like there's too much empty space on it, and I don't even know who's that other character on the Souza one. Are they both? Is one Storm? Like
one is Storm.
I believe the main one is Storm.
Okay.
That other one must be the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole Brotherhood is this guy.
It's this one guy.
They're at Miami Beach or something.
I mean, I like the colors on it. I do. That's like my aesthetic usually. But
It must be related to Wolverine.
Maybe.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Maybe. All right,
it's
Mike.
like my aesthetic usually on the Souza, but
perfect
Arthur
cloth
Adams, for
hair.
sure.
All right, Mike and Dale, which one would you choose?
I'm with Tony. I've been waiting to like an Arthur Adams for a while now.
I like this one.
Yeah, you like
Which one do they pick?
No, because there's pink in it.
Yes.
And it's like RC, favorite character.
Yes.
Yeah. But so there's been a lot of these floating head Arthur Adams
There we go.
of late. And
Yeah.
I haven't been a huge fan of those. And again, like Tony said, they're all kind of samey. And this is really nice to get a full composition, full body. I really like it. This is what I want from Arthur Adams. I've been waiting for a cover like this from him for months, maybe even years now. And so, yeah, it's the Adams all day long for me.
All right. And Jeff?
So I'm gonna say I do like the Souza, but only in it's not the one I'm picking though. I like it because it's got a different feel. But good night. I don't. If I looked at this and just saw this cover, I wouldn't know it's Storm. That's my problem with the cover, right? It looks like a Boom type of cover. Boom Studios. It looks like maybe a Magic the Gathering type of cover. So like I would pass on that, and I do like that Art Adams, like Mike said, drew the whole character, and I like his zaniness of exaggerating the cape, exaggerating the hair, exaggerating her thickness. Like I love it. So I'm all for that. It's like a return to good old Art Adams from the 80s and 90s. So I'm
The
cool with that
Souza one, it looks also like it was not. Is this a Virgin cover, or is that just the artwork and we don't see the logo?
It's
Do we know?
a Virgin cover.
Yeah, I mean, also it was drawn to have a logo on it, so it's just got this empty space up top, and it seems like it was probably, somebody later was like, "Oh, we'll make that a Virgin cover,"
Yeah.
But that stuff will happen to us sometimes, where it's just like we turn the art off, and then something gets changed or doesn't get done right, and you're just like, "Oh, well, now I feel foolish."
now that
Oh,
all
the
makes
whole
sense to
cover
me.
is ruined. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had them like reframed or like just like
Or they'll
sometimes,
put the trade dress right over top of what was it was
Mhm.
supposed to be in front of. Yeah.
or I've had them
Big sticker.
once or twice. I've had them use like the JPEG that I sent. That's always nice.
Oh,
Oh no.
Stray Dogs Vampirella.
Oh, did they have that happen on that one?
Yeah, it
Did
did.
it get pixelated?
Yes, it
A
did.
little bit.
Not bad. Not bad though. Not bad.
Okay.
But it's noticeable if you look at it.
Nice.
There's one really bad JTC Vampirella it looks like Mario from 8-Bit. I mean, not on purpose though.
Also, quick tangent check on this Souza one too. His arm, her leg.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
also
horrible.
his hand and his chest are kind of weird too.
So it gets confusing
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Everything. Yeah.
And just so you guys know, I know Trish, we didn't know who this character was. That's right by Storm. It looks like Styx had said that's the character called Raptor. And then Shiny Suit is it's Future Storm, I guess.
Future Storm. All right.
I like that cover when I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Raptor.
Now I like it less.
All right, here we go. We have Quested 3, which is a 1 in 10. And again, this is from the folks over at Whatnot by Michael Calero.
Hey.
All right.
I have feelings.
Oh, okay.
Not-
Well,
not
then
nice.
let's just wait. Let's bottle them up for a little bit. Big Rob.
I don't know. Now I'm curious where she's going to go with this, but in general, I appreciate the homage for Final Fantasy. I believe 7. Is it? Well, there's
7.
Say 7, right? Yeah, it's 7, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that I appreciate they did a PS1 homage, and that's cool. The art is pretty general. It's nothing amazing. I do like the fading of the black and white art in the background. Where the characters have no clue what these characters are, but they've been doing video game homages for all these issues. This is, I'm assuming, issue 3. The other ones were Zelda, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So, in general, I like it, and I'm just a video game homage mark. If I see it, I'll grab it.
All right, Trish, come on.
You were so nice to this cover.
Yeah, he really likes it.
I'm actually very offended. This is my all-time
I'm a mark.
favorite video game ever, and this is not good. I'm very
Thank you.
it's very not good. The angle on the sword is bad. I don't know what these characters are. That logo is not good. Oh my god, I hate it all. Good effort for Mr. Artist, whoever you are. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry, man.
That's Michael Calero, the editor-in-chief of Whatnot Publishing, the one that hires
Sorry,
you.
Michael. Sorry. I will never work for you. Sorry.
The editor and publisher.
I can't do it. It's not good.
You're doomed.
Get somebody who's good at these homages then. Like, what's I understand what you're trying to do here, but it's
Like Trish.
not good.
All right.
Yeah, I mean.
She has open time.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I'm with Trish. This is trash. Why is Mega Man on the Final Fantasy cover? First of all, the PlayStation 1 design for their packaging was never good to begin with, so I don't know why you would homage it. It's just, it looks unfinished. I'm
never gonna get this job, but that's okay.
I also love this game. It just doesn't do it for me. I want to love it. Like, I want this to be knocked out of the park, but it just doesn't do it for me. It feels like an unfinished piece of art, kind of rushed to me, and I kind of don't. I'm not feeling it.
You know what? We have a great question, and we're going to post this question to the panel. So Tony, Mike, Trish, Big Rob, and Jeff. But I want to hear from Tony and Trish first. So Nathan here has asked, what makes an homage good? So Tony, I want to hear from you first.
It's a great question.
I don't know what really makes them good. I feel like what you want in them is that it's doing something a little bit different than what the original thing is. Something that reminds you of the original thing, but also does something where you go like, oh, that's interesting, you know? Like, I feel like that's why people dug the Stray Dogs ones that we did, because it's all these images that you know, but it's cute dogs, right? And I feel like that worked out really well for us. But what I think Michael is doing good here is that the design on this is on point. Like, compared to the original cover, it's all pretty much exactly right, which I feel is a thing that a lot of people get wrong when they do homages. Like, they'll do the pose or the artwork the same or close enough, and then they'll just sort of like put the regular logo for the comic or something on it, or it doesn't work unless you go all the way and do the design all the way. This one, he's missing like the T for teen, logo. I feel like that would really clinch it design wise. But like he did the little 3 discs thing there. He made the Whatnot logo at the bottom, like the PlayStation or whatever that like golden thing at the bottom of the PlayStation games was.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing stuff right here, and not just because he's my buddy. But I do think that is what makes an homage good, is like, you want it to be as close as possible while being different and interesting, which is a difficult trick to pull off, I think.
Perhaps I'm too big a fan of what it's homaging, but I'm not a fan of this piece.
No, I think all your critiques are valid. That's just my homie.
So Trish, you've done a
I don't know him from anybody, so like that's
we don't
not
have
a
picture from.
Yeah. That's when you get the most honest shit, like when you don't know.
Yeah.
Just also spec wise, it is a 1 in 10, and it is Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy fans.
Is it though?
I guarantee you, Final Fantasy fans are going to pay $20 for this book.
No, I mean, is it really a 1 in 10?
Oh well, yeah, because it's one. Yeah, who knows? It could be 1,000 copies of this out there, but regardless, it's going to be sought after.
We got to get a Michael Calero picture in case he pops up again. When you guys roast him, I want to see his smiling face.
I'm not roasting him.
Trish, I mean, you've done a number of fantastic like homages to video games. So what could have been done better? I mean, and I'll pull the original I guess drawing or whatnot, so you can kind of look.
Whatnot.
If that'll work, I think.
Or whatnot. Nice. Yeah,
there you go.
That's good.
Well, there was a different version of this too that had like the full color of the city that was there, like that big Shinra Tower and all that. I like that version too.
Did you not know about this version?
No. That doesn't matter.
Like this doesn't matter.
But it still isn't to me because it still isn't, because behind the guy should be like clouds, like a sky, instead of whatever that texture is. It looks like crumpled up paper.
It does look, yeah, it doesn't quite hit it on that front.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some things I would do differently, and also fix the poor cat guy's arm.
Yeah, and the angle of the blade on the sword to match the handle.
Mm-hmm. I'm not good at drawing swords either. I would have taken a lot more time with it for sure. I mean, it's just not for me. I don't know.
What do you think about when you do your homages though, Trish? Like what's like paramount for you on those?
I like to know a little bit about like I can't say it for all of them because like the Mario ones, they were kind of simple, but some of them I wanted to know like who's the main character, who's the main bad guy, a little bit about the story so that I can fit the right character into the right role.
Mm-hmm.
Want it so it looks like it would make sense to like the average viewer. So I'm guessing this dude's the big bad of Quested and this dude's the hero, and great, that makes sense. I just could have been something, and I'm just sad. And I mean, of course, you also had to fit like a square. You had to fit a square, CD case format into
elongated thing. Yeah.
So I mean, you still had to change the arrangement a little bit or squish it together a little more to get it to fit right.
All right. Big Rob, I know you're also a big gamer too. So what would make a good homage? I mean,
for me?
Yeah, what makes a homage good? I mean,
well, I don't know the right. I'm a mark for any video game homage. So,
but you're a consumer, right? We're all consumers.
Yeah.
So if we see something, I mean, obviously we know that. Hey,
I think in general, for this one hits all. It's close. Maybe the art's not perfect, but it does hit it close enough to all the marks where it reminds you of what it is. When I saw it, I immediately thought of Final Fantasy VII. And that's to me the most important thing. It has to give you that immediate connection with basically your childhood, and it does in general.
Okay. Also, I think that they're doing something here that is important. That the book's a fantasy book, and it's a fantasy game. And I feel like a lot of times homages are a little haphazard. It's just like, oh, this one, we'll do Amazing Spider-Man #1 or whatever. Like Amazing Fantasy 15. And it's just like, well, it's not even about superheroes, or it's not even, like that. That was something we tried to do with Stray Dogs, was do, like we're telling people a story that this is a horror book about cartoons by showing them horror movie posters with cartoons on them,
which were great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Should I bought them
all? Jeff, in your opinion, what makes a homage good?
Honestly, it does depend on the individual consumer as well. We all have a mark or a point where nostalgia hits us, right? If we see something, it's nostalgic. So this is okay of an homage, but it is missing some elements to it where I feel like it's just slightly incomplete of a great homage. And I think Tony kind of pointed it out. The titling on the left side is not complete. So it throws off it. Now I feel like the font is not correct. And maybe it's because I'm missing that part beneath the Whatnot publishing. The actual image itself, I feel like it's maybe slightly, I don't know, more incomplete than the original. So it's just it all happens to be on like small details really matter to me on an homage. Especially matching the font, making sure the colors fit correctly, and then when you need to change something to match for, say, your studio, your name, whatever, and you place it in where it fits, where you can replace something else that would have gone there, like that's perfect. Like just like he said on the bottom, all of that stuff that works for me. But again, this feels a little incomplete on the homage.
Okay.
So like I dig if it was an all dogs go to heaven poster, but they were all zombified. Right? Like that would be cool. Like it's so different from what the original was, but also in that same, you know, image, you know, and that same light. So I don't know. It really does depend on the consumer though, because Big Rob's he's a big mark for these PlayStation one. I mean these video game ones, and every TMNT one cover homage. Okay,
That is
so
true.
and I'm a mark too for homages. I just picked up a Bird City comic book that was an homage. Trish. So yeah.
All right. And then Mike, in your opinion, like what makes a good homage?
All right. I mean, everything everyone else said is absolutely spot on. It has to be recognizable for the, you know, whatever it's supposed to be. It has to hit somebody's nostalgia, but I think it also needs to be something a little fresh, something that people haven't beaten to death. You know, how many Hulk 181 homages can we see? How many, you know, Amazing Fantasy 15s? You know, you get the idea.
Spider-Man one.
So in that way, this book hits, right. This is something we haven't seen yet. I don't think anyone's done a PS1 game, and I don't think they've done this game at all. So that's cool. And you know, I like it when you're trying to do something fresh. It's something actually Bird City does a great job with a lot. Is that they're thinking outside the box, new things that people haven't done. Ben C just dropped a bunch of like rock and roll poster homages for Josie and the Pussycats. Again, a nice link up between, you know, the subject matter and then what it's homaging. They fit really nicely, and they do a beautiful job on those too. So, you know, I think it's a lot of that. It's something that's new and fresh. It gets you excited. I don't have anything like that yet in my collection. I want that. And then it has to have those little details. I think that's why, you know, even if Trish weren't below me in this thing, I think that's why we like her homages so much, is the attention to little details, where they're placed, what things we want to see. Like that T for Teen thing that's missing on this cover makes a big difference, which is strange. It shouldn't, but it does. And so, yeah, basically everything everyone said, but something new and fresh that hasn't been done to death.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that answers your question, Nathan. But again, as always, art is subjective. So to Mike's point, it's whatever pulls on your heartstrings is probably what you're going to feel is a good homage.
And the chat is all in agreement that Michael Calero, very good dude. So I think that's
This is not an attack on his character.
Love it in the
This
streets.
was
No
not
matter
an
what
attack on
Trish-
his character.
I couldn't believe Trish wanted to besmirch
Mike, do
his
you want to
character
say
like
the?
that.
I just wanted to
the
say,
warning?
don't do this again. You're a great guy. Continue being great.
Yeah.
No artists were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Thank you.
Only me, I guess. I stepped
Yeah, other
in
than
it
Trish.
myself.
Other than Trish.
Were you kidding? I've been rolling on these fools this whole time. That poor guy that did the great gargoyle drawing, I just let him have it for no good reason.
We just have some deep, visceral reactions to things sometimes, and it's just
Hey,
like,
it's okay.
Of
I think that's why
course,
people
of
watch,
course.
because we're
You
actually
know what
honest.
happened? We got money, and now we don't give a shit. That's the problem. If this was 2 years
Great
ago,
answer.
we'd been very, we'd be on tiptoes.
PC.
you're like, no, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
All right. Moving on to the next one. This is for you, Mike. This is Star Wars Hidden Empire, 1 in 25 by David Lopez. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
So I like the fact that this is a full composition and not just sort of one of those,
Yeah.
body shot kind of things. I feel like the cape's a little static, but overall I like the composition, and I really like the detail in the background. It gets me wondering about what's going on in this book. If this is a plot point in the book, I'm interested in the plot of the book. I want to open it up. And I feel like at the end of the day, isn't that what a cover is supposed to do, is make you pull it off the shelf and look at it inside and read it. So in that way, I really like it. Does the art absolutely blow me away? No. But I will say I've been largely disappointed in incentive Star Wars covers of late. And this one kind of redeems me a little bit, or redeems them for me a little bit. So I like it. I like the composition. I think it's well done. It's got some flaws, but overall a good piece.
Okay. Tony?
Yeah, I like this. I think it's got to be almost impossible to keep coming up with Star Wars covers that, something like this where it's like, all right, we want Darth Vader and spaceships, and you're just like, All right. Well, I mean, we've been doing this for 40 years. How am I going to come up with something new? So I think like just thinking compositionally and sort of making a frame for Darth Vader to be in out of these ships and sort of like popping him there in the middle. My one major gripe with all Marvel comics is that I think their graphic designers, who are probably paid, not very well, are not very good. So like this logo up here just is just
Big Rob.
it's not interesting. Like
The worst.
it's an okay logo. Like you could make something out of that, but like if it's me, I'm doing that whole logo outline and just have it big over the whole top of that thing and not have it just be this like drop shadow nonsense here. Like I feel bad even talking about it because I'm sure it's just somebody that's getting paid not nearly enough money to live in New York City, but
We had
But-
so many discussions about how bad the trade dress is on a lot of these.
it's always like no matter how good they made this cover, if they just do that up there, it's like what's the point?
Yeah, Marvel
Like
has
how
lost
much of
its
it
way.
interferes with the art, or how much of it like takes away from the art, or like how just generally illegible it is, or
Why isn't it down
whatever.
on the bottom in the stone? I'd much rather have it be down there.
Or yeah, put the Marvel logo down there and then just make Hidden Empire like big and across the whole top. That would be fine too.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know who's got good graphic designers is Boom Studios. Their books look really good.
Yep.
And I think and they print on nice paper. I feel like that makes a difference. Although it's Star Wars, I'll probably buy this very book. Like maybe
Star
not
Wars,
25, but
That was gonna be my rapid fire question for you: Star Wars or Star Trek? And there's only one answer.
Oh, Star Wars.
No, the right answer is both.
Yeah.
I agree.
But Tony, Big Rob hates all the Marvel ones. Like he hates the Incredible Hulk.
It's the worst.
Trade dress.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're bad most of the time. Even like the X-Men guy that Hickman brought in, like that was interesting at first, but I think once he's not there overseeing it, if you leave it to these guys, they just they're not equipped.
This time took over.
Oh yes, it's always both. All right, Trish.
The same. I mean, it's hard to come up with like original Vader content. So, go for good composition, and that's what I think this does. Well, and same thing with the logos. Move that Marvel logo and center the Hidden Empire. What the hell, man? Why is it off to the side like that?
I drew Darth Vader in this exact pose one time in the IDW comics. Not as good a drawing as this, but it was one of the happiest moments of my life was to draw Darth Vader.
I love your story about drawing Star Wars stuff at IDW.
I would still be doing that to this very day, making that, killing myself for that very small page rate, just to be able to draw Luke Skywalkers and stuff.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
All right,
And then
Big
there's
Rob.
like too much space at the bottom. Either lower it or put the logo down there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, regardless, Star Wars fans will, even if this art is shit, the Star Wars fans will buy this cover because it's a 1 in 25 and they don't give a shit. They'll buy it.
Snuck that in so slight.
Oh, yeah.
Not pulling any punches.
Now, with Star Wars, I never do because I have about, 6 short boxes, just Star Wars books. So, yeah. Fuck this guy.
I think the only interesting ones are like I think the Dr. Aphra covers sometimes are interesting. It's like it's anytime they do something where you haven't already exhausted that, like even when the Marvel books first started coming out and they had like great artists, it's like none of them are super memorable,
Dude, those Ashley Witter Afro covers though, wow, those are great. Those are unsung right there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rob.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, it's what can you say? It's the same generic art they always do, really, with Darth Vader. It's just him posing some crazy pose on a mountain and shit. So I appreciate the starships. That's something different. I don't see that a lot, just like starships being smashed to the floor. So that's somewhat different. But it's you couldn't. We just know it's Darth Vader, but there's like really no detail to the actual character. So I guess.
Wait, do we think he's doing that with the Force?
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a junkyard, right? So
You got to do one of these, man.
Would have
Come
been
on.
cool to see a hand.
Yeah.
Then
I was
I
going
never
to
even
say
considered- I
that.
thought those spaceships were just flying around out there, all haphazardly.
how? Yeah. Also, the science. How does that work? How does the Star Destroyer perfectly just stuck to the floor and now break into a million pieces? Because it is like super heavy. So I don't know. It's me.
And then
Maybe it was
just
parked there and there was an earthquake.
there you go.
Really quickly,
we have a question from Solo Wookie, and this is for both Tony and Trish. Do they let you guys address the tray dress when you guys do covers?
depends on who we're doing it for. Like
Not really.
the Disney ones, we can't mess with the trade dress. That's what it is. But like if it's like an homage for like an indie book or something, we get to do whatever we want. Like you did the 8 Billion Genies one, you know, or like the 8 Billion Genies ones, for instance, where we've designed the trade dress around the homage. So
Yeah.
I've done other, like when I do the pulp cover ones, they'll let me do all that stuff myself. I generally don't have to do anything differently there than if I was just doing it for myself. And on the Stray Dog stuff, we had a designer, Lauren Herda, who we sort of came up with a sort of good logo, and then we just handed it over and said like, do this but better. And so she was able to take it and sort of
do
like
this, but tune it up.
professional looking version.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right, thank you guys. All right, moving on to the next one here. We have Ghost Rider, and it's a 1 in 200 by J. Scott Campbell. I know Big Rob's a fan. He collects a lot of these, but we'll start off with Jeff. Jeff.
I honestly don't know what I feel about this. I mean, I appreciate the details he put on the boot and the bike, but I don't know if I necessarily like the head, the figure itself. I don't even know if I like the angle, to be quite honest. I dig the fact that the tray dress is in an angle. I'm cool with that, but this is not my favorite Jay Scott. And I always say I want to see him draw more men. But
why do you say that?
Huh?
Why do you say that?
Just because I don't want him to get stuck in the trap of only just drawing women and being known for that. I feel like if as an artist you should be able to try to spread your wings and be known more than just one thing. Like I don't want David Nakayama to be known just for those covers.
Yeah.
I really appreciate when David does a cover that's not like that. I honestly I say it a lot. Same thing with JDC and a bunch of other people. Hey, look, he does women just fine. So let's work on doing some of the men. Let's do some of the other characters. Get away from that because he obviously has the skills to draw.
A couple of his best covers are male characters.
Yes. So like this one doesn't work for me. And I'm not doing a 1 in 200 for this. Yeah. Color's okay, but yeah, that's just too much.
Okay. And then Big Rob, are you picking this one up?
Dude, I totally missed this on the FOC. I didn't even know this existed until you showed me this. I'm assuming there's a $5 version of this because there always is. There's usually like 3 different versions of this particular art that J. Scott Campbell does because he did it for the Avengers and Cap and all of them. I appreciate he's actually doing male characters. And has he ever done Ghost Rider in the past? I don't remember him doing Ghost Rider.
I can't remember.
Question.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
No, so at least this is first on this particular character. Yeah, I would just buy the $5 version. Yeah, 1 in 200. Good luck finding number 1. And yeah, this is it's gonna be tough.
Okay, Trish.
What would make this a 1 in 200 versus the $5 version?
I can't tell. I'm looking at that right now.
It has a filter.
Yeah, it's like a
There's a
rendering
filter.
over it. That's
Yeah, they call it the retro filter.
Yes.
Oh, I thought this looked kind of retro, but not $200 retro.
No. They do this.
Remember
for
when your
Not
wallet
enough
had $200 less dollars?
not enough to make me get a time machine,
I could get Photoshop for that $200 and filter it myself.
There you
right?
go.
I could watch a YouTube tutorial on how to make it look retro.
So Trish, here it
there you
is,
go.
just so you can
Yeah.
kind of take a look. So this is the regular anniversary cover.
Which is a more regular one, yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Okay.
it's not as faded, right? It's very bright,
It's
vibrant.
shiny.
Yeah,
It looks
shiny.
better, actually.
Yeah.
Here's the 1 in 100, which the trade dress has been removed, but you still
Yeah.
get that shininess.
Actually, I like that better.
Yeah. And this is the 1 in 200 that we're talking about right now. But Campbell has done a lot of these that are just a little bit different.
If it was like the full image, it would remind me of like those old T-shirts you could buy. It's like an old faded like Ghost Rider T-shirt. Like it looks like a monster
1990s.
truck,
Like
a
the
monster
plastic
jam shirt.
decal, the rubber decal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd have to be glitter around everything, though.
This thing would have to, pay my bills for $200. Sorry.
It ain't gonna.
All right. All right, Mike, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I like the overall piece of art. I actually hate the trade dress going the wrong way. I am really not a fan of the horizontal book thing because that's the way I'd want to display this, and then he's out of whack, and I don't understand the concept there. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's a composition thing. Like
Yeah.
if the character's tilted, it's not going to look more tilted by tilting the logo. It's going to look less tilted. If Ghost Rider is straight up and down and the Ghost Rider is riding up towards it, it's going to look like he's going up. This just looks like you don't know how to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of the days with the Deadpool Wolverine Campbell cover or the Lizard cover, or some of his other great male covers, and that's if I'm because I'm with you, Jeff. I want him to draw some male covers as well. Look, I'm like everybody else. I like his female covers too, but as far as diversity, I want him to do some of everything, just so he's kind of well known for all of it. And I think he came real close on this one, but it just kind of misses the mark for me. I prefer the $4 one because I don't like the filter on this, but I really hate that Ghost Rider logo going the wrong way. That turns me right off. And there's no shot that I would ever pay $200 for this book. I wouldn't really pay more than the $4 for it, to be honest.
But I'm pretty sure that J. Scott Campbell Marks will pay for it. So
it's pretty definitive there, Mike.
Say again?
It was pretty definitive. You're like right on there. Never, ever.
Ever.
It's like a politician.
No.
And Tony, do you have anything else to add? Anything additional?
J. Scott Campbell, depending on the day, might be my favorite comic book artist. But I also just wish he would. I mean, for 20 years I've been saying I wish he would just draw comics. Like he's done every cover, he's done everything, and to the point where now we're just going like, has he ever drawn Ghost Rider before? It's just like, what's he gonna do? Like Brother Voodoo, and like, how far do we have to go? Just draw comics. But I guess his heart's not in it, right? Like this is what he likes to do, and that's fine. It's a very nice drawing of Ghost Rider. I kind of wish that front tire was more in the foreground. Like I wish it was coming towards us, not going past us.
Yeah.
But he's great. He's much better than me. That's my caveat for this whole evening. All these artists are better drawing than me, and I love them. J. Scott Campbell especially. I've devoted more hours of my life looking at his artwork than most people in this world. So I super love him. This cover, I could take it or leave it. I'd be fine if he's just going to do covers. I don't care if he ever draws a dude. Like, just draw girls. That's what he's great at. Like if he's going to do comics, let's put dudes in there. But if not, I don't care. Just draw different Mary Janes and Black Cats in different sexy poses, and I'm fine with that too.
Controversial. Draw the most controversial poses ever. Like people have debates about the poses that he put.
With girls that would break in half if they were in real life.
Yep.
But also this guy's head is on fire. Can you imagine how that would, if this was real life, it would be a nightmare for him. Brain would melt.
All right. Tiger Fit has a question. And this is something like anybody can just answer. It's should the value of a ratio cover be determined by a superstar artist or the finished art?
Oh, the easy answer.
Then Mike,
the finished art all day long. It's got to feel like it's the incentive it's supposed to be. I don't care who drew it. Doesn't matter to me. Your name doesn't mean that you just get a free pass to draw crap for the rest of your life. You got.
But who in the world is going to buy 200 copies of Ghost Rider to get one done by me? A relative nobody. I mean, like a relative nobody in Marvel Comics.
Well, see, now that might be an exception though. If it were your first Marvel cover, then people might pay it to get your first Marvel cover.
I mean,
so
no.
That does happen, though.
I'm just saying that there's a lot of reasons why people buy these things.
So, anybody else have any other opinions in regards to this?
I think you're right. It's got to be, the image has got to be good, but I do think it makes a difference. There are artists whose name being on the FOC sheet raises the number on the issue sales noticeably.
Yeah,
there are those guys. We've talked about a bunch of them already. Like, there's guys where if they do a variant, that book's going to sell, a few thousand more copies. So,
Adam Hughes.
And to speak to that more, it's there's a lot of times on FOC that there'll be a 1 in 100 or a 1 in 200 orderable, but have no image at all, and we know who the artist is, and they will order it because of the artist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there are exceptions, but the most times it is the finish art. It is what really matters overall, because there's so many different incentives every week, every month. So in that matter, it's again up to the person purchasing, their tastes, what they like, and if that speaks to them. Right. So, but most of the time it's the finished art that's going to speak to them and I want to pay $20 more for that book. So,
or 200 in this case.
Again, there's exceptions, but more times than not, it is the finished art, in my opinion.
Yeah. Kevin Eastman never finishes his art before FOC. It's always late.
Look how dope he is at drawing leather and chrome, though. Like, he's one of the great leather artists, I think. You think about like Sydney from Danger Girl. Is that the one that was the leather one?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. No, the leather one was that Russian.
Natasha.
It wasn't Natasha. It was the other girl that was always wearing black. She was a brunette.
Yeah.
The Danger
But I remember
Girl?
her name.
He did write old sketch covers. I remember that.
I feel like a fake geek boy right now.
All right. Let us move
render
on to the next
leather
one.
well. There, we can all drink now. Finally, I've said it.
Render. Yo, I was right the first time. Sydney Savage.
Render.
Nice.
Don't ever question it.
Yeah.
I thought it was Abby Chase.
That's the Danger Girl. That's the main Danger Girl.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I told you, Tony knows his stuff.
With Alonzo, you have to show him the booty picture, or he doesn't know who it is. So.
Actually,
that is also true.
Guys, I think we're all fired. I think Tony should take over for all of us. He knows all this.
I don't like he colors.
That one looks like it's colored by Sabine Rich.
Yeah, Sabine usually does his stuff,
Rich,
right?
Yeah.
Him and Frank Cho.
Yeah.
It used to be Nii, and is sometimes a homie from Aspen, Peter Steigerwald. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, the one that does all the.
All right, and then we have this one, and it's our final incentive for the week. It is the Amazing Spider-Man number 19, 1 in 100 by Giada Parasinotto. Hopefully I said that right.
Parasinotto.
So Trish, this is one that we've kind of talked about in the past that we wish that you could be doing these.
I wish that I could be too. But
what are your thoughts on this one?
I love it. I love all these dumb Disney covered things. I think they're great. I wouldn't pay $100 for the black and white just for the, having a black and white version. But the color version of it's great. I think I would love to do something like this where you take Disney characters and put them in. This is what an homage is.
Yep.
Yeah. I love her stylization on the characters too. Like,
I like how like Mickey's not. Yeah, she's not like entirely on model. Because the ears aren't like the exact same shape. But I love that.
Yeah, I wonder if she's one of those Italian people that do the fun Disney that are.
The
Like
Euro Disney artists make my heart hurt. They're so good.
So good.
Oh, and you're
Here's
right.
the-
Sticks. It's a double T, so it's Pedicinato.
Is it a
Nato.
Is it a typo that it's Amazing Spider-Man?
No,
No.
it's actually Amazing Spider-Man for some strange, stupid reason.
Get out of
Yeah,
here.
They did that
Yeah.
same thing on the Amazing Spider-Man 17, but it was an Avengers homage. So
Yep.
weird.
Yeah. Yep.
And
They
it has
do
the
all the
Avengers
time. They've
trade
done
dress
some
on it
neat-
and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did a Gambit Gwen cover for X-Men Gwen Stacy month, and they were like, "Leave room for the logo," and I was like, "All right, what's the logo look like?" And they sent me the logo, and it said Shang-Chi. It was like a Shang-Chi cover.
Oh my god.
You remember Gambit from Shang-Chi or Gwen Stacy?
Who doesn't?
But this one fucking clearly says the Fantastic Four right on there. Like, good
Yup.
lord, just do a Spider-Man cover.
Yeah, I mean, how many classic Spider-Man covers are there?
A million.
You know, literally a million. They could have done that, and it was the same thing with the Avengers one. Everybody was like, "What the hell?" You know,
This is
I
like-
actually picked up the Avengers one when I went to get my pull box on Saturday.
I think all 6 are all Spider-Man books, right? All 6 homages, I believe, are all
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
because there's a Hulk, there's a Avengers Forever,
Infinity
one every-
Gauntlet,
I think there's going to be 12 total, but yeah.
Iron
Maybe
Man.
I'm overreacting. If it's part of a series, maybe, but I would love it if they were Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, and there is a Fantastic Four book right now. You could put this on. I don't know
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
not. Oh, I get it.
Very nice work, Giada, though. Very cute drawing.
Yes.
Fun characters. I
By
bet it's
the way-
better in color. I would not get the 1/100. I would get the color.
It's crazy good in
The
color.
color one,
Yeah.
the color one looks way better.
It
Yeah.
pops.
It
Pete,
does.
Yeah.
Pete looks so cool.
Goofy looks like awesome, dude. Goofy's the shit
Yeah.
in this one.
All right. So that does it for this week's incentives. Thank you guys so much. Now we are moving to the store exclusives, and we have just a few of them. The first one up is by Marco Mastrazzo
Ooh.
for Something is Killing the Children, number 29, which you can find in Unknown Comics, 616, and Anti-Hero Gallery at a cost of just $20.
Wow.
All right. So, Mike,
Yes.
would you be buying this book?
Yeah, I'm going to be buying this. I love Mastrazzo's work, and I've said it a million times now. He was doing a bunch of Vampirella books, and I really wanted to see him on something a little bit more popular, a little bit more saleable. And I'm really happy because this is the second one of these, I think, now.
Mhm.
And this is really great. I mean, his style is fantastic. It's got just enough like impressionism in it, but yet enough realism at the same time. There's obviously a sexiness quality going on to it as well. It's cool framing. We got the Sears background again, but in this particular
Oh,
case,
yeah, Sears.
it's done in the way of like a classic oil painter, right? I mean, it's done like a portrait in a gallery might be done.
Rembrandt.
Yeah, like a Rembrandt, exactly. And I love it. I actually think the way he has the lighting hitting the wall behind her is really well done. The hair is fantastic. That creepy smile. We got a little off-kilter boobage going on, but I can handle that because the rest of the cover is so damn good. Great shine on the leather gloves. Great color pop in certain places. It's a really nice balance of everything. This is a really fantastic cover. I love this one. I think it's well worth $20 too. That's pretty low price. I don't know what the LE is. I'm assuming 500-ish, probably, which maybe a little bit more, but still, this is a great cover.
And Tony, what are your thoughts on this one?
I like it also. I was going to say, even before you pointed out that it was like a Sears background, that I dug the strokes back there. Like there's values to it. It's not just a flat background. Like you're getting cool brush strokes, and you're also getting like it's drawing your eye to the part of the art that you want to look at, which is up there, that face. So yeah, I dig it. I would get this for sure.
Okay. Trish?
What Mike said, but turn the excitement level down a little tiny bit.
I think it's because
Yeah.
I'm so sick of seeing the same thing on Something is Killing the Children books. It's nice to see something a little
It's
bit
true.
different.
It's true. When you see this character on Something is Killing books, she always looks the same. This is different, and I do like that.
All right, Big Rob?
Yeah, typically I mentioned this in the past. I hate this fucking character design. It's one of the stupidest character designs I've ever seen in my life. But Marco Mastrozzo, he's a genius. He's a great artist, and he makes actually this character design look cool to me for once. And it's beautiful art. It looks like a Rembrandt, in my opinion. But this is my opinion.
And Jeff?
I agree with everyone. This is a great cover. I like Mastrozzo. I've always liked Mastrozzo. Now I know that this is Sears' background, but kind of what Tony said. At least it has depth to it. At least it has like the shadowing, the lighting. It does point you to a certain like a direction where your eye is supposed to go. I like the lighting. It works. He's done it right on the coloring. I actually don't mind the uneven boobage because that's realistic.
And she's leaning that way.
She's leaning that way. So her arm is crossing a kind of across her right arm. So it's kind of maybe she gets a little more like push from her shoulder area. So like I can appreciate that. Like it doesn't need to be perfection. Perfectly drawn evenly, but I think that's what makes it actually really great because it's just not overly even on every single side of her, and that's what humans are. We're not, cut us in half. We're not the same on both sides, so I'm cool with that.
What? Also $20.
This conversation is turning weird.
Yeah, we're cutting people in half now.
Go weirder. I think.
Don't you listen every week, Trish? When does it not get weird on this show?
I think it's not that the boobs are uneven. I think probably what you were like rubbing up against.
Go on, sir. Go on.
She's wearing a corset, but the way that her boobs are smushed is not corset. Yeah. It's like it's almost like her boobs are made of something solid, or they're fake breasts, which is possible. Like that could be what it is.
Yeah, it looks like fake.
It's just like the way that like when you draw figures in clothing, different kind of clothing lays on characters differently. So in this case, I think like when I see it, what I'm thinking is just like I don't know if that's how boobs look in corsets, but I still think it's a nice piece, that's a very small critique, but I don't think it's that the boobs are uneven because I do think when you're drawing boobs, sometimes you want them to be a little bit uneven because that's interesting.
I don't hate Santa's killing the show. I just hate her wearing that stupid mask on her face that covers her eyes completely. I actually do love the story.
Well, the other one wears it on their mouth. It's the opposite.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. That you're trying to cover your identification. This one, she can't even fucking see. She's gonna run into a wall with her damn.
Got eye holes right here, Big Rob. All right.
Well, actually,
how about this one here? We got Cosmic Ghost Rider #1 by John Jang, and you can get this at Big Time Collectibles. The LE for the trade dress is $3,000 and the Virgin variant is $1,000, and you can get this set for $40. All right, Tony.
I love John Gang. He did some cool Stray Dog stuff. This is a neat looking piece, but I also gotta say, ack.
Yeah. I called it.
Yes. When Mars attacks.
Those are cosmic too. I'm with it.
I get all the like Marvel movie poster vibes from this with all those colors. Like this is like some character that wasn't in Thor: Love and Thunder and it should have been.
Yes.
But yeah, ack.
Hold on, shout out the designers though, because that logo looks pretty good up there.
Yeah, I mean, like it actually fits there, but so funny.
And it doesn't look awkward that it's gone.
Yeah.
Plus, I like that the front like shoulder spike thing is like over top of the trade dress. Like you can have interaction with your trade dress, folks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
All right. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I dig this cover. I really do like it a lot. I think I prefer it in the Virgin version. But again, like they've said, the trade dress doesn't take away from it this time. It kind of blends nicely, so I wouldn't hate it. I'm not mad at the trade dress.
I wonder if John.
You don't have to drink
it in there. himself.
But,
That's okay. You're homaging Jeff. I'm drinking.
Yes, there you go. Right. And by the way, everyone, is a terrible homage. Yeah, I like this cover a lot. I like Zhang's work a lot. I love his detail. I like his layout here. His color in this particular case is amazing. This actually reminds me similarly to that amazing Cheshire Cat Alice cover that I love so much. This is back to that sort of same pop that he had on that cover. And so I really dig this one. I'm not likely to buy it at that price. Just a me thing. That's not where my $40 is going this week. I'm likely to buy the Mastrazo instead. But yeah, this is a great cover. I like this a lot.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one right here, it was just announced. It is for Immoral X-Men #1 by Lobos with an LE of 500 with a cost of 40 with the four infamous retailers here: KRS, Mutant Beaver, Eastside Comics, and the Comic Mint.
They're lying.
Yes. So again, these are the same retailers that tell us about the limited edition or the limit. When we know it's for Marvel, it should be 3,000 for the trade dress and 1,000 for the Virgin variant. But all for whatever reason, they're always the ones telling us that it's lower than that. So I don't know if they have some special deal going. But yes, the LE based on what they're promoting or advertising is 500. All right. So, Jeff, what are your thoughts on this one?
I pass immediately. I don't like the black outline against the white. I get it that she's like, because she is wearing white, so you don't want to make it a negative space. But I mean, it's off white, bluish coloring, so I mean, you can tell the difference. There's some issues with her fingers, her hands,
that arm is not right.
That left arm looked like she broke it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I can't unsee any of that. And then I just don't like the shininess of her hair, face. It doesn't look like, it just looks wrong. The rendering of this. Sorry, Trish. But yeah, it feels like a sticker, and then they put a shadow on it. That's it to me.
Okay.
I dig the gold. I like how that stands out, but yeah. No, thank you. I pass.
Okay. All right. Big Rob?
Ditto, pretty much. So I don't know what else can Jeff's pretty much said it all. Really, the arm is super freakish, that's for sure, and it's the all white background is. I actually do like Lobos' art, and he's definitely the graduate of Adam Hughes' school, but. Yeah, dude, and plus $40 for one book and limited to 500. That's a bunch of BS. We all know that. But her face is kind of cool. He drew the face pretty cool. But yeah, just everything that Jeff mentioned. Okay. What else can I add really to that?
All right, Trish, anything to add?
Hold on. Let me go first.
Tony.
All four of these people did Stray Dogs covers, so Trish and I both think this is great. It's fine. It's very good. You should buy it. I don't want Trish. I see Trish bubbling. I'm just like, no. These are good.
He's saving her.
I was absolutely fine with this. I got no problem.
There we go, Trish. That's what I like to hear.
All right. Okay.
I'm retired. I apparently have a gag order on me now. So.
Oh, good. But you know who doesn't have a gag order?
I know exactly what everybody's saying about the Adam Hughes thing. I kind of get that here, but I don't hate this. And I don't know. I don't think I like the gray outline outside of the black outline. But other than that, I don't. Yeah. That it kind of gives it like a fuzzy look, and it shouldn't be, but otherwise, I don't have a problem with this. I don't know this character, and it's got everybody's favorite Marvel X-Men trade dress at the top. So
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, the algebra.
All right, Mike, come on.
Yeah,
I know you're not gonna hold back.
You know me. I hate everything about this. I hate the fact that lying 500 number. The fingers in the arm are super wrong. It's a copycat of Hughes. I am over the negative space attempts, tropes, whatever we want to call it. The outline sucks. The shadow would have been fine. Do something in the background. I don't know. There's nothing about this that screams that I wanted it all. I would probably hand this back if someone tried to give it to me. And I mean, I know this is trying to make it sexy and everything, but it just doesn't. I know I'm being Nancy negative, but I don't like this cover at all. And I can't support a lie. I just can't support a lie.
But you know what, Mike? I know which cover you're gonna like. And it's this one here by Dan Parent for Bird City Comics. It's an Archie comic with an LE of 200 with a cost of just $25. But before we get to you, Mike, because there's an article you wrote about it, I want to hear what Tony has to say.
What? I mean, what's going on here? Is this a homage?
This is a homage.
Good
Is
eye.
it an homage to like a Dan DeCarlo? Is it homage to an earlier Archie cover, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Bob Montana.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, what's the take? Also,
Mike?
Bird City, of course, in business with us, so we love it.
besties.
Okay.
Besties.
It's a little over here in the retailer side where things are a little dodgier for me. So I'm just like, yeah, this is all great. These guys are terrific.
All right. Okay, Trish.
At first, I didn't think her shirt was fuzzy, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And then I said, "Oh, she's wearing a fuzzy shirt. It's fine. It's fine. I love it. I think it's great. I'm not familiar with the original piece, but who doesn't love a good Archie cover?"
Okay. So, Mike, why don't you get into this?
Okay. So the original Archie 50, there you go, is Betty.
Aha.
And I like brunettes, and I don't dislike blondes, but I just prefer brunettes. And when I saw that Dan Parent was going to be at Heroes Con in May, when the list popped up, I said, I need him to do a commission for me. And there's the original commission right there that he handed to me, which I thought he absolutely blew away, knocked out of the park. I just wanted him to replace Betty with Veronica, simple as that. And we kibitzed over the idea that he couldn't believe nobody had ever asked him to do it, and that no one had ever done it before. And so I then said, it then sort of dawned on me to have the conversation about, well, maybe we should turn this into a cover. And so I approached the Bird City folks with the commission, and we got approval from Archie, and we just waited for a book that it would fit on. So it's going to be on the Betty and Veronica rock and roll special, rather than on like a Valentine's Day book or a Christmas book or something like that. Just a regular Betty and Veronica or Archie book. And then so he did a redraw. Obviously the face is different. She's looking a different way and all that kind of thing. But man, this is just like, it's my favorite Archie cover originally, even with Betty on it. But now it's really my favorite Archie cover ever, because now it's Veronica instead of Betty on the cover. So so this is sort of a personal love for me to have this done. I know Anthony and Laura were really excited about the fact that it had never been done either, and that it's going to be out there. And there's a lot of fans, a lot of people that would kill people over the original Archie 50. And this is a nice way for them to get that, especially if they like brunettes more than blondes. So I'm really excited to see this come to fruition. I obviously love this cover. This was my idea in the first place. And I'm really, really excited to see it be printed on a book. So I think Dan Parent did a fantastic job with it. He really got it right.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought this was like an original cover from from the original Archie run. But yeah, when he showed me the original, and then I saw this, I was like, oh well, that makes sense. Why haven't they done this before? You're right. This is, I honestly wouldn't have been able to tell the difference if I didn't know that it was Betty on the original. So this is awesome. Again, I'm with you. I like the brunette. I do want to say that the LE and the price is great. But I also want to talk about what someone had said in the chat. So someone said that this was homage a month ago. Let's talk about that.
Do you really want to get into that?
Talk about it. That homage was sneakily done.
Are you sure you want me to talk about that on the air?
Oh God, no.
Before this had come out. So this was in the works for months.
Yo, I gotta hear this dirt. Let's go.
Before the other one was released on January 20th.
Yeah.
And it's the version of Cherry is it Blossom? Yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl Blossom.
Cheryl Blossom.
Cherry Blossom is her name. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Cheryl Blossom on the cover. That person who did that book, they asked Archie Comics if they can do Veronica, and they already told them no because it's already being done. So yeah, that's the receipts. It was already being done before the other comic. But someone heard about someone doing this comic and jumped on all over it as soon as they could. So
yeah, and just tried to beat us to the punch, which they did do, which is, is whatever it is.
Is this another retailer?
Yes.
Another retailer found out that we were doing this. They found out from Archie that we were doing this. They didn't know who was doing it. They just knew it was being done by a different shop and decided to do it anyway. So they said, you can't do Veronica. That's already in the works. So he just picked a different character and had them do that one instead, and then rushed it out on a different book before this one. So, but the original concept is mine way back. I mean, there's pictures on Instagram. I mean, we could do that all day, but it's, the conversation with Dan and I was that we couldn't believe no one had ever done this before.
Did Dan Parent draw both of them?
He did draw both of them, yes.
Which Benedict Arnold.
So so there's that. There is that. But I'm not mad at that as much. The guy's got to get paid. If he got the job, he got the job. Whatever. That's okay. I kind of wish that he would have said no and not done that one. But Archie also should have said no to the whole concept. This already being done. Don't do it. But we went ahead with it because I feel strongly about this being the better character for the cover. It should be Veronica. I don't know why you would want Cheryl Blossom over Veronica. She's the OG, but and it was the original concept in the first place. So you take that how you will. I'm being really nice on the air right now, which I really don't want to do. I want to be really mean. Because I think that shit's pretty dirty, but it's been done before. People like to snipe ideas, and I guess Dan and I should not have posted pictures of the commission on Instagram as early as we did. I think that was the big problem. So we should have held on to it and just not told anybody, but oops.
That's okay. But if you do like this one, you can actually find it at Bird City Comics, right?
Yes, and it drops tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you get ready. Only 200. These Archie 200 limitations sell out pretty instantly. So I would make sure your internet speed is up and ready to go if you want this book, because it's going to go fast.
All right.
I'm not trying to sell it. It's just all of the other 200 print run Archies have all sold out like basically instantly.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I assume this will be the same in the same boat, and I think it's just as good or better than any of those.
I'm looking at the other one, and Dan Parent just used the same
everything
sign on the logo. he really, that was a short day of work for Dan Parent. He was like, "Oh, I have all this ready to go."
Yeah, I'm sorry I opened the floodgate, but sometimes I think people who are in the community outside of actual within the industry don't see it for what it is, what the actual truth is, and sometimes you just need to know, and it needs to be let known. I mean, it's part of the business. Honestly, it's not something that's not been done before. Like, people have definitely bit off other people and definitely try to steal the ideas and get them released beforehand. So that's just part of the business.
It is.
This is something I always think about because we did so many homage covers, and it got to the point where, like, now Trish and I are people that people come to and go like, "Oh, can you do an homage of this or that and stuff?" And it's sort of like ethics once you're already ripping somebody off, you know. So it's just like, we're doing this thing. We never asked like the people that made Friday the 13th or whatever if we could use their stuff. So at a certain point, it's just like, is there honor amongst thieves? You know, like it's interesting. I don't know what the answer to it is, but it is something I think about all the time. Where it's just like, oh, somebody else already homaged this thing. It's like, well, neither of us invented it, so you know, like. But in this specific case, where it's the same guy, it's very funny to me.
Yeah.
Well, that and the timing of the release of the book, the homages, right? Because it's one thing if it was like they're a year apart or 2 years apart. This is literally within weeks. So
it'll appear to the common purchaser that the other one was done first and that Bird City and I copied it. But the proof is in the Instagram posts, I guess, for lack of better, or just to talk to Dan. I mean, I don't think he would lie about it if anybody asked him, but
I mean, there's 200 of these, so you really only 200 times do you have to tell somebody that you had first.
Yeah, agreed.
This one was first.
Hopefully you covered a good swath of those here tonight.
And I think the other thing too is that my commission was the original. I think it's what he used to do the original inks in the first place. So really, I mean, what came first, the chicken or the egg, I guess, even if he did reuse those. He used my original commission from June. I got it delivered to me in June, but long before the other one was even close to being in the works. So yeah, while it might appear that the other one is first, this concept was the first one and the original. So,
all right. So let's.
I'll sleep better at night knowing that anyway. I might be the only one, but
Rish, I checked, and the other store I don't think did any Stray Dogs covers, so we're free here to say that we think this is the better one. We're taking sides. We choose Bird City.
Oh my goodness,
that was awesome.
All right,
I know there's more tea, but on that, because that wasn't the only idea of theirs that got ripped off either. Mm-mm. So.
That is correct.
Wait, the same guy? It was the same guy who did multiple?
No. It was the idea of a particular homage.
Yes, a video game homage.
Yeah.
That also got bit early. Yeah. So this happens to Bird City here and there, but I applaud them for going through with it, knowing that it was a strong concept and probably partially a favor to me, as well as a little bit of a middle finger to, the person who sniped the idea too, which is
Okay.
And
but Bird City, they're great people. They know.
Yeah.
So
they're good
now
people.
H10 to get 10% off that book.
That's right.
Man, look at
so
this.
Now let's make this about Tony now.
Wow, fine.
Tony.
Yeah, we totally get to rip these. Wait, we don't have to do that, right?
Go ahead. Look at these rip-offs.
Oh my God! Look at these homages. Oh my goodness.
Man.
So Tony, you have a new comic book coming out February the 22nd.
That's right.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about
So
it?
So it's me and Tim Seeley. We're co-writing and co-drawing this book. It's a story about a former superhero who, for mysterious reasons, has been sort of canceled and fired from his job as a superhero. And he has to move home to the small town where he's from with his parents. And he's not allowed to use his superpowers or his secret identity or any of that stuff. But people start dying, and so he's going to sort of investigate and figure out what's going on, but without using any of his superpowers or doing any of his super stuff. But it's sort of set in the Image universe. We conceived it as like, what if like a 90s Image comic met a 90s Vertigo comic, and what would that be like? And so it's sort of like our crime crime story / superhero story. It's sort of like, I don't know if the concept is too confusing or what. Like Stray Dogs, you can just say like, oh, it's a serial killer that kidnaps people's dogs, and it's told from the perspective of the dogs. Like it's an easy thing to explain. This one's a little more complicated, but it's like if you like like superhero books, if you like crime books, this is those two things together. It's sort of like people that like Sleeper or Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, or like these kind of like sort of down to earth superhero books. But the different thing about this is that he was a superhero in the 90s, in like the Image 90s. So every issue has a main story that's drawn by me, and then it has a backup story that's a flip book where like you flip it over and it's a whole other comic, and that's drawn by Tim. And those are flashbacks to the sort of like the more extreme bombastic Image 90s.
Nice.
So we were lucky enough, so thank you so much for kind of giving us a preview of issue number 1.
I didn't get to read it.
So
what?
I'm so glad that you had mentioned that it's a mystery why he got axed from the group, because throughout the book I was wondering what happened.
Right.
We're left to wonder what is going on, and I feel like, okay, it's not that something that was missed, but it was something that was done on purpose to kind of hook the reader.
Yeah, we tried to sort of open hopefully in the first issue you're setting up a bunch of questions, and then throughout the rest of the thing you'll be answering them, or sort of like taking people on a journey through twists and turns, and sort of like getting to the bottom of all that stuff. So that's all stuff that we've got planned out. It's all answers are coming, and hopefully they're sort of like surprising and different from the whatever you think happened during this first issue. That's not what happened. So it's sort of like we're having fun with that aspect of it.
And then did you have to have any background into any of these like teams? Because I know that it's Crossjack, which is, I guess, the protagonist here. He was a member of the Third Gen. Was Third Gen an Image team?
No, we sort of, at first we talked about like, could we make it Brigade, or could we make it like Cyberforce or one of these teams?
Mm-hmm.
But it's sort of cleaner to just have it be all our own thing. So we did more of like a Astro City or a Big Bang Comics, where you're doing, they're not even direct analogs. They're just sort of like every Image book had like the big guy and the gun guy and the knife guy, and there was like the girl with the energy
pouch guy,
the pouch guy,
like the cable guy. There's the girl with the energy powers, and then there's the girl who's like a little witchier and like more mysterious. So we tried to sort of like take all those like elements and just sort of make a what are they called? Like echoes, like we're trying to make characters that you look at them and go like, oh, they're like Image 90s characters, but without being like Tim and I both are big fans of those books and like the energy in them. And so a lot of times when you see people do like this is what it was like in 90s comics, it's a little more like they're taking a shit on them. And we wanted to do like, this is what was cool about them. So hopefully that comes through.
I think it does. Like Six is already saying like Crossjack looks like Shatterstar, and I think that I would agree with that.
That is what Eric Stevenson said, and he said we should not poke the bear too hard with those with those covers, especially like you can see in the upper corner there. We did a holofoil cover that Marat Michaels drew, and whenever you have these guys that like did the original like image books, like we have another one from Carl Altstetter who did Bloodstrike. They sort of lean way into it, and you see them and you're just like, oh shit, that looks exactly like Shatterstar. Like when me and Tim draw them, they sort of have a flavor that is original to this book. But when you get those guys to do it, it's just like, oh shit, that's it. That looks like a 90s guy.
I think they should push that envelope. I mean, that's what Image was all about in the 90s.
Oh, for sure.
Almost everybody was a derivative of some other character from Marvel.
Literally in the email we got about it, Eric Stevenson was like, we had to change the name of Youngblood from the Executioners and like all this stuff. We couldn't say mutants and all that. Me and Tim were just like, okay, cool. We're nodding our head, but inside we're just like, oh, I hope they tell us we can't do that. I hope they tell us we can't call Bedrock and we got to call him Badrock now, because like that's in part of making this book like an homage to those stories, and sort of like doing that thing is sort of like trying to be on the edge like they were, and just sort of saying like, fuck it, we're just making comics, like we're doing cool and interesting stuff, hopefully. And so like that sort of stuff. But I always sort of lean towards, like this, we're sort of low stakes enough here where it's like, if somebody says change it, you just change it. It's not like there's a whole infrastructure around Local Man that's like, oh, well, what are we going to do if we can't, they can't have X's on them anymore or whatever. It's just like, it's comics, like we'll change it if they say to change it. And we'll tell you all about it and get a little news cycle.
Okay. So this is definitely like a standalone. You don't even need to have read like any of the Image stuff like back in the day or even current. I mean, it's just its own standalone book, right?
But it is cool that you did.
Yeah, thank you. Well, there's references to stuff, but it's not like it's stuff where if you haven't read it, you understand what he's talking about, and if you have read the other stuff, you're like, oh, fucking cool. That's that guy.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he's saying he had a fight with so and so or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, I dug this book actually. I pictured it kind of like, oh, he has like a storyline like the Deep. He kind of got canceled from his team.
Yeah.
On the Boys, but I also picture it more like a Superman who got canceled from the Justice League, and now he has to become a Batman. Like,
for sure, yeah.
In that kind of sense, because you go back to the small town, Smallville, and so it takes you out of the big city and in the middle of all the action, and now it makes it more of a personal story. So I really did appreciate this. Like, I'm actually really want this book. I want all of them. I really do want to. I dig the fact that you even created a team without really creating a team for Image. that was really cool. I hope we get to see more of that. Obviously, probably the past and bringing all that up. I'm sure we'll see more of them and get more in depth of his relationship with that old team or something, and how it relates to how he's going to resolve these issues in his hometown. So the story itself has already captured me. I didn't need super action. I don't need super like battles in that first issue to get me hooked. And that was how good the story was.
Yeah, I prefer the character building as well. And I think it's right off the bat in that first scene. I don't want to give it away, but the truck driver scene, it's a great setup. You already know the tone of the whole thing, and that's a great way to start it. And then just character development through that whole issue, and that's way better and a lot more timeless than just blowing shit up all the time. Which I'm sure you'll get to at some point.
And we definitely do get to it. But that's sort of the cool thing about building on the stuff that we liked about those books is that they all exist, like they're all there. And so you're sort of using that stuff as a shorthand, right? Like we imagine that this guy's already been through all those, like he was there when like Wildstorm had like the Sword of Damocles or, like Extreme Destroyer crossover at Extreme, like this guy was sort of off panel fighting on the sidelines during all this stuff in his team. And so we sort of use that as a shorthand, like, okay, that's all happened. And now it all fell apart. And then let's show you this story. And then in the backup stories in the flip book, we're sort of giving little peeks and sort of like filling in the mystery by showing you like little bits of his history every issue. So yeah, hopefully it translates. Hopefully people will sort of dig it, because it is sort of like all through the promotion of this and even like the homage covers we've done. It's like we're going like, remember those bombastic, crazy comics? Here's a guy who's sad that lives in his parents' basement now. Like it's like sort of a bit of a bait and switch. So hopefully people like are into the story we're telling enough to sort of hang with us.
I like the
and
fact that you guys had like a world to already build upon, so you didn't have to like do that extra, workload of trying to get everybody that world building to show exactly where this character is and what's going on. You get it if you know the Image world.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, we hadn't. I am normally against the idea of creator-owned superhero comics. I always think like they already made, except, I mean, not counting the original Image stuff. Like, I think that's the coolest. I love that shit. But I always think like if somebody wants to hear a superhero story, they'll either just go see the movies that exist, or they'll read the Marvel and DC comics who have like mastered how to do that. Even if you're not reading like the brand new stuff, you can read any number of the 100 years of great superhero stories. So I do think it's a dodgy proposition to make a new superhero world. And what I liked about doing this is there's not like, Super Duper Man and Batman analogs and stuff. It's like, no, this is just the Image universe, and these are characters that you could see being in the Image universe, but they're not like supposed to be, this is this world's Batman or this is this world's Catwoman or whatever, So it's a very, I don't know if it even makes sense what I'm saying, but I feel like there's a line there, and it's sort of, to me, to be able to tell this kind of story, I needed people to not be thinking like, well, which one of these is supposed to be Robin,
Yeah, which is what you do with other things like The Boys or
Mhm.
like Watchmen. You're like, okay, so that's Aquaman, and that one's Captain America mixed with that guy, and that sort of takes you out of the story in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
At least The Boys makes it just a complete comedy, so
Right.
so that's okay, I guess. But this one, I assume, is going to remain serious. So that's a cool, different take.
Yeah, we try and put a little character in here and there, but it's not hilarious. It is just about this guy whose life is sort of falling apart, and when bad shit happens to him, that'll get funny at times, but yeah, it'll stay pretty serious.
Cool.
Big
I
Rob,
was
do you have a
talking about
question?
my new favorite character,
Oh,
Yes,
the dog.
Pepper.
Yes.
Pepper.
I
Yeah,
can
that
only
was
see like tiny thumbnails right now, but like I'm just scribbling.
already
tiny dogs.
sketching him out.
yeah.
We're gonna for sure get a Trish Forstner cover on this. We've been talking about it the whole time. Like, we're gonna do a variant cover for Trish on one of these issues.
Hooray!
We'll get it going.
Tony, you have a question from Stixboy. When this becomes popular, and it will, would you be opposed to crossover with past Image characters if it fit your story?
Oh, we're already talking about it. Like,
Woohoo!
Nice.
Oh.
we would love nothing more than to do that. Like I said, in this one, we sort of reference people. We're in the Image world, and a lot of these people are that we mention are people that we know a little bit, especially Tim. Tim's been in comics for like 10 years longer than me, so he fucking knows everybody. But yeah, we've already sort of talked to some people about like, hey, if we do more of these, we want to try and bring in some of these characters. So hopefully that would be the coolest.
Yeah, because right now, like the characters on the peripheral of the Image universe, once they start interacting, it's like, that's it. He's in Image. He's in that world. He is part of those heroes.
Well, and the thing that, I mean, it's sort of the way Image was set up, that they could do whatever they wanted with their characters, but like, such a bummer that like he exists in the Image universe, and in my head continuity, he exists in the same world as like Youngblood and Wildcats and stuff, but now they don't even live in the same world anymore. Like they're all somewhere else. So, but yeah, we'll definitely get some. There will be some Cyberforce or some Spawn characters or whatever. We'll try and get some of that going. We did a Spawn cover for when they were doing Spawn cover month. Tim reached out and he was like, "Hey, we're doing a cover with Spawn on it," and I lost my mind. I was like, "Holy shit, that's the coolest!" And then we drew it, we finished it, we sent it in, and then they were just like, "Oh yeah, we didn't realize your book didn't come out until February. That's not Spawn cover month anymore." So we're just like, "Oh,
That's right, it still fits."
So now this beautiful art exists somewhere, is not going to be released, or is it?
Put it in the trade.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Nice.
Cool.
I mean,
All right.
we can all
And then
put
Tony,
sorry.
Tony, you're also going to be appearing in some of the local comic shops to
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of promote this, right?
Yes, I am. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm going to Collector's Paradise 2 days. On the Wednesday it comes out, and then on the Saturday after it comes out. I'm also going to be at House of Secrets on the Friday after it comes out, so 24th, 25th. I'm going to check out my follow me on Twitter and Facebook, or sign up for my newsletter. I'm about to put out a big blast with like where you can find me when this thing comes out. But what's cool about the local signings we're going to have for Local Man is that we made these cool like throwback Image Comics trading cards that are going to be exclusive to the different signings that we're at.
Oh my gosh.
So like if you come to the signings, we made these sort of like, again, just the same way we did those variant covers, and like the design of the book is all like an original Image comic. So we got 4 cards that you can get from either me or Tim if you go to signings or conventions. And so if you're like a super collector and you want to travel, follow me around or send somebody out to pick up copies of these cards. The first week that the book's out, I'll have those at all the
super fun,
all the signings. And then I'm going to be up in the Bay Area for issue 2 on April 1st, which will be like a few days after the second issue comes out. But I'll be at Cape and Cowl Comics in the Bay Area.
That's it. You want to show that off again? There you go, Cape and Cowl Comics. All right, Oakland, California. All right, so the Sam, you definitely have to hit that place up.
Come to Nashville. Go to the place. So we had a local shop that Tone went to last year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, which one is it?
Starbase Comics. It's in Franklin, Tennessee.
I would love to. I think something going on my computer. I'm going to plug it in. So keep talking without me.
Nice.
Cool.
Damn it, I want those cards.
I know, I want those cards. Isn't that ridiculous? Shows how much of a 90s kid I am.
Yes.
I know. Oh my God, I want all 4 of them.
So what are you going to be doing next?
Who?
You. Are you going to be going to any cons or any store signings?
Making any ice water baths?
Any upcoming projects?
Exactly.
Let's see. I mean, Disney, more Disney covers, more working on current project with Tony, working on. I have a signing March 4th, so I still have plenty of time to talk about that. Nerdtopia in Hanover, Pennsylvania, and generally just being cool and hanging out and chat. That's pretty much where I'll be.
And then also too, congratulations on that Bird City Comics sellout for Ice Cream Man. I mean, that homage is amazing.
Right?
So congratulations.
That was fun. That was fun.
Now that's a cool thing to homage. Something no one's touched Nintendo Power.
Well, of course, I missed it too.
It was weird. It was okay. So first of all, if I was going to do it truly correct, I would have tried to do some sort of
3D
like
claymation
3D claymation looking style, but we were playing around with the idea of like a Cuphead kind of 1930s.
Oh my God, I was thinking the same thing.
Like kind of Tube Man kind of style. And so I went with that instead. And I tried to make it look as kind of classic, like old as I could. But the black and white, I did a black and white version, and I gave them a color version, and I said I like the black and white better, but I think they went with the color version, which is totally fine. But the black and white version looked way better.
Yeah, it fits the 30s, 40s kind of cartoonish looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for us Nintendo heads, the color one. I mean, I could spot that magazine from 3 blocks away, man.
Well, like the trade dress was still in color. And that was was important. Okay. But the artwork was all black and white, and I was like, and I mean, you know,
you know what? You never know. It can still be used for the second print.
Yeah, right. My favorite. Just change the colors.
All right, Tony, you're back.
I'm back. Sorry, my computer's plugged in now. It's not going to die. I also found this other card. The 4th card in the set.
Definitely talk more about what Tony's doing. Bye, Local Man.
Any new comics?
Yeah, well, I'm working on it with you. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh
That
man,
sounds
I love
exciting.
this.
I look forward to that. So yeah, these are all
Love
these
that.
are homages in themselves. You know, like if you're a super hardcore Image kid, you recognize some of these as like the OG Image Comics cards. This was the Youngblood cards.
Yep.
I have some of those cards.
Yeah.
I think I have all those cards still because I could never sell. I could never sell them.
Yeah. So yeah, these will be at all the signings that I'm at. Sign up for my newsletter, TonyFleece.com, or follow me at Tony Fleece on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, and stuff. And
Yeah,
I'll-
we definitely put your info and social media in the live chat, and as well as the description for this podcast.
Nice.
So hopefully people will sub you up here in the live chat, as well as people watching the rewind.
Yeah, please do. And then, as you can see down there, two of those are retailer covers. The Spawn #9 cover is at Bird City, and the darker image one is from Collector's Paradise and the Comic Bug down here. So you'll be able to get those. You can pre-order them, or you can get them if you come to the signings at Comic Bug or at Collector's Paradise.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, thank you so much, Tony.
Yeah, thank you for letting me talk about this. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys dug the book. And Trish, I hope you dig it. Now that I've sent it to you, I can't believe I didn't send it to you already.
I saw the preview at Baltimore, the little red ash can you were passing out.
Oh yeah.
But
for
There's
this.
an ash
I was
can.
about to say that, Jeff.
The son of a bitch.
ha ha ha!
There's an
Collectors.
ash can.
Hold on, I'll show you that too. We did that like a old school Image comic as well. One second.
Oh.
Yes, excellent.
Excellent.
Get that FOMO, y'all. Get that
Yes,
FOMO.
I have it.
You meant the ash can. Now I'm
Well,
like,
he was handing out the ash can to retailers that passed by our booth at Baltimore.
But that's the reason for
Look
having
at that thing.
the ash
Look
can.
at it.
oh my god, that looks like Youngblood.
Son of a
Yes.
bitch. I want.
Savage
It's
Dragon.
like the darker image ash can, the red one.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
Or Bloodstrike. Yeah.
Did you make them in different colors?
That's good.
No, we didn't go that far, and we
Oh.
didn't sign them with a gold pen either because I was afraid the way the ink lies on that Kinko's copy paper that it would just bleed it. I didn't want to ruin one of them trying that stupid gold pen. So yeah, but I think there's like 300 or 400 of them, and I sent out half of them to stores, and Tim sent out the other half. So they are out there. Your retailer probably has them.
Wow. Okay.
And I know you passed out a few at Baltimore too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All
No,
right.
this is a good book. I like it already.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Second one is done. I'm almost done drawing the third one right now. So it should come out on time. We're excited about it. You know, it's a fun thing to do. And it's very different from Stray Dogs or from anything that I've done before. So it is sort of like getting to do a interesting, it's my same job, but I'm getting to sort of stretch different muscles.
Cool. Well, definitely looking forward to being able to physically grab a copy in February, on February the 22nd. So in a couple more weeks.
Yep.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, and if you're you guys are cover fans, every issue is going to have a B cover, starting with number 2 that is drawn by like an original Image Comics. I call them like studio guys because it's not like Mark Silvestri or Todd McFarlane or something, but it's like some of our favorite guys, like Todd Knock, Joe Benitez, Brett Booth. You know, like these guys that are dope.
Oh,
They didn't
I
draw
love
Wildcats. They drew
Other
like,
defectors.
Yeah, I've heard of these 3 guys.
oh, man. That's great. That's great.
Sweet.
I love it. All right. Thanks again, Tony.
yeah, of course. We done? You guys giving me the bums rush?
No, not at all.
No.
Come on,
We're
man.
still doing our
thank you.
thing.
No,
We're still doing our thing.
Okay,
I
good.
wish we could talk more about this, but I don't want to spoil it for people.
No,
You guys
me
need
either.
to go
I had
get
to
it.
bite my tongue too.
Yeah, I didn't want to give too much away, but I was so excited to talk about it. I was
I want
kinda
people to
giving a
buy it
little
and
bit.
support it, so I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to go get this. I dig the fact that it has the homage covers as well. So just
Yeah, I
fits
want that
the whole
Angela
thing.
one.
Well, we didn't go crazy on them too. There's total, I think, 9 covers for the first issue, which is how many there were with Stray Dogs. we got our numbers back the other day, and we did like a decent, but it's not like, for people who are collectors, this is the sort of thing where it's like there's not going to be a cajillion of them out there, so it's the kind of first issue you want if you're a collector, where it's like this could be something or it could be nothing. We'll see. but as far as investments
speculators, get it.
Yeah, back on.
Screws the speculation. If you like reading a good story, then you go get it.
You.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
that too. I forget about that.
Yeah, that's part of the comic book.
Okay. All right. Real quickly, Mike, where can we find you next?
Cover Fire tomorrow to the 11 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central, where I write my article about all the covers that we don't cover on this podcast, which are all the A and B regularly priced covers that I think are pretty for the week. It's a good week this week, actually, at least for the winners. There's a kind of a big chunk of meh covers too, but this week with an article about the Archie 50 homage. It will return in its true form next week, so be prepared for that, which is sort of my inner soundtrack to covers I love that I feel like have either gone under the radar or been forgotten about and are cheap and pretty, just stuff I like. And some people like them, some people don't. But as always, head over to CBSI, that's comicbookinvest.com, for your regular weekday or whatever day you go to get comics, your Wednesday warrioring needs. And all the guys love writing their articles over there, and I certainly do. It's fun for me. So,
okay, thank you, sir.
Please check it out. Hit the chat or hit the second to people down there. Sorry, did I freeze?
Nothing. Yeah, you froze.
Oh crap! I love talking to people in the comments, so please check out the articles on CBSI and hit the comments. I love chatting with people down there.
Okay. And Tony, what do you have coming up next? So you have Local Man issue 1 that's coming out in the 22nd, and then you have issue number 2 coming out in April.
Mm-hmm. And then on like that for the foreseeable future. I also have. I'm doing covers right now for the Image comic book plush. I think there's a few more of those coming out. That's a book that's about furries who are cannibals. So people who dug Stray Dogs might also find something to enjoy in plush. It's got murderers, it's got cute things. So I've been doing those. Trish and I are doing Gargoyles comics covers at Dynamite. And so we're continuing to do that. We're going to at least go up through issue 12. We just talked about that.
Nice.
That's great.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that book is it's exciting how well that book's doing. I'm psyched about it. And Greg Wiseman, I think people get excited when it's like you're reading the real thing, like that's the original writer. So yeah,
and the artwork inside the book looks good too. So
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a total package. It's a nice looking book. I'm happy that I get it for free. If they send us comps. So we're doing those, and Trish and I are working on a thing that's probably still a little ways out. And then I'm writing a thing that I assume will get announced probably in the next couple of months. But it's a horror thing that is a licensed thing. It's a thing people know about.
A brand.
Yeah, and I'm psyched about that. I think people are going to be hopefully excited about it when it gets announced. So
I already am.
Yeah, I can't. There's a bunch of stuff that I can't say what it is. That's the stupid part about this, is when it's just like, I much prefer it when we're talking about Local Man or Stray Dogs or whatever. It's like, oh, here's a thing that is announced and I can talk about. But there's a bunch of other stuff coming too that I'm very excited about that is not announced. But I'll come back in 6 months or a year or whatever, and we'll talk about that then.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
we can shit on other people's covers all over again.
maybe not offend people that could potentially give me work. Sorry, people.
Trish is just like, this Michael Calero is an outrage. I'm sure he's not the publisher of any comic book companies. That's for sure.
Listen, if I don't get the work for them, I guess I don't. I'm sorry.
We got our own stuff to do.
Yeah,
Look, you have to respect honesty. I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Yes.
I mean, we have to. I don't know if the people that
No,
hire
they could be like, this bitch blacklisted.
we respect the discretion. would
They
say.
should like that you're honest and transparent about your you know, you
It's
weren't
business. It's not personal.
Oh, nice.
It's
This is
subjective.
what things belong on.
Again, like Trish even said it too when
Godfather.
you're on the show. Like artists or anybody that kind of puts themselves out there. I mean, you have to have thick skin. You have to be able to take feedback from other people, right? Constructive criticism. So I mean, you've definitely have said that. I mean, we've talked about a number of artists and kind of said, you know, we like you. We know that you've done good, but this cover is just lacking something.
Yeah. I'm
You know,
terrified
and-
to meet Peach Momoko now. She's gonna
Or Ryan Gonzalez.
yeah. Or Rose Beth.
Fornez.
Or Wolf.
Well, come on now, Fornez, that's all of us, guys. That was not just me.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, we've been mean here
This
and
is my
there.
puppy, Kato.
Oh, no.
Aw.
I'm happy I stuck around.
Wow.
The show just got better.
Hey, Bubby. All right. I don't think he's enjoying this. He's whining.
He's like, what is happening? Please put me down.
Solo Wookie, always a treat.
All
Just
right.
kidding. I'm giving shout outs now.
Yep. And then I
Hey,
also
Doreen.
have to do a quick shout outs to our sponsors one more time. Don't forget to use code Nerdvana14 for 30 days of unlimited cover price for only 99 cents. And also use TNH10 to save yourself 10% over at Bird City Comics. And Mike, can you please, again, with that disclaimer for the show?
No artists were harmed in the making of this podcast.
There you go. And
Just
then
maybe
Tony,
producers.
that's right. Can you please take us out Team Nerd Herd style?
Oh, I forgot what I was supposed to do. It's been so long ago. Like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell.
There you go.
That's something we don't do. We don't even say that.
It's in the private chat, Tony.
All right, go ahead, Big Rob.
Hey, if you want to do it right, cover horse for life.
Oh, BRB, gotta go to the restroom.
Bye.